This is Naples, the capital of the former Kingdom of Naples, one of the most beautiful of Mediterranean cities. 5 centuries before Christ, they called it Neapolis, the new city. Since then, Naples has known many masters: Greeks, Romans, Goths, Normans, and Spaniards. And now the Nazis have been here too. Modern war is cruel to any city. It has been cruel to Naples. Long before the battle for the city itself, right from the days of Alamein and Marath, Allied bombers hammered military objectives in Naples with devastating effect. They bombed the harbor until the quays were a shambles and the roadstead was choked with sunken ships. They bombed the railway stations, the goods yards, and the trains. They bombed everything that enabled the enemy to carry on his war. From the beaches of Salerno, the Allies advanced on Naples. The Germans couldn't hold the city, so they did all they could to render it useless. Then they pulled out. When the Nazis had gone, the people of Naples saw what Mussolini's war had done. They were left with no power, no gas, no transport, no food, no water, and, all too often, no homes. On October the 1st, 1943, the armies of liberation entered Naples. The Allied armies had freed their first big city in Europe. But once 1 million people came under their care. They took stock and found chaos. The people were desperate. In the isolated city, there was perhaps 1 loaf to feed 100 of them. They fought for food and they fought for water. The German demolition squads had done their work only too well. But in their desperation, the people found water. Water from the sewers. Naples faced a new enemy, disease. Typhoid and typhus began to show themselves. 1 million people were threatened with famine, and they were threatened, too, with uncontrollable plague. The Allied soldiers battled in the ruins to restore the essential services, the power, the gas, the transport, and the water. And at the same time, they did what they could to help the people. They brought in food and gave away their own rations. They pumped up salt water from the bay and made it fit to drink. Everything for war and everything for Naples had to come by sea. At first, amphibian vehicles unloaded the ships anchored out in the bay. Meanwhile, troops were digging into the ruins ashore to clear the quays so that the ships could come alongside to unload. Every hour, new problems arose and had to be solved at once. And the Nazis had not yet finished with Naples. Their last blows at the city were struck with time bombs. On October the 7th, when the post office blew up, 100 people were killed. And so, when the Allied authorities were ready to turn on the power, they ordered the people out of the city. For this was the moment of greatest danger from Nazi time bombs and booby traps.
Take it.
Oggi 26 ottobre, grazie all'attivissimo interessamento del comando militare alleato, si stanno completando i lavori per ripristinare l'energia elettrica e la forza motrice. Molti commercianti di Napoli apprenderanno con piacere la notizia della...
And the people, hearing that the city was safe, came back. The power, at least, was on. But there could be no pause for the Allies. Their task was twofold: to fight the war and to feed Naples. They could do neither without supplies. The port was working again, and supplies came flooding in. Food, bombs, shells, tanks, plane parts, petrol, lorries. Supplies for peace and supplies for war. Food and munitions were arriving. Now the Allies and the Italians could concentrate on reconstruction. Naples was on her feet again. Shaky perhaps, but on her feet. Her people had the necessities of life, and they saw the reconstruction gaining ground. Their confidence was restored. In the squares and alleyways, the markets appeared once more. For the city was no longer isolated, and from the liberated countryside, the people could bring in their produce. Along the main streets, the shops were opening one by one. For now, there were things in the windows, and people to buy them.
Which shade would you prefer, sir?
I don't mind about the shade, just as it tastes good.
The taste is fine.
After a generation of fascism, the people of Naples are real citizens once more. Over the washtubs, women say what they like, without fear of the secret police. In the cafes, men say what they like, without fear of the concentration camp. Since the Allies took over the city, many barriers have been broken down. Many gates have been unlocked. And what of the future citizens of Naples? Now they have a chance of growing up in a free world.
Una volta si sono incontrate la cicogna e la volpe. La volpe è un animale molto...
I am grateful to Allied military government for removing political influences which affected education in Italy. We are happy for the children to give them a truly democratic and free classroom.
Naples is a city once more, but her reconstruction has only just begun. And she is just one of the war-torn cities of the world. When the fighting is over, new battles begin. Battles against starvation, disease, greed and want. Battles for a decent world. We of the United Nations and the peoples that we liberate must fight those battles together. For Naples, this is only the beginning. For all of us, it is only the beginning.